not do that. I better find something else that people use all the time. So I said, well, they're going to eat all year long. So we went into grocery.
Okay.
And about 2 months in, my
This was
son
how long
called.
ago, Angel?
Pardon me?
How long ago was this?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Barry's going half a trailer load of groceries. Oh my goodness.
Well,
Watch
Angel, you and Barry have
Barry.
something in common. Barry is a big bookseller too.
Oh, I don't sell books anymore. No, not now. I need to find some people to buy for me.
I hear you. So you started going to grocery, and then what happened?
My son called 2 months in. He has 3 special needs kids, and he says, Mom, I just lost my job. And I said, oh, good. I'm so glad because I'm sick and tired of packing this stuff. So, so that was the beginning of our family business. He now owns a prep center in Arizona, and 2 of his other brothers have come on board to work for me. So we have a small family business, and I'm in New Mexico, and they are in Arizona.
So you just have stuff shipped straight to them?
I do still just OA. The boys, my sons do RA, and they just drop it off at their brother's prep center, and life is good.
Wow, that's awesome being able to, give your kids jobs, make it into a family business. So you've been doing this as a full-time job for a little over 2 years.
Yes, just over 2 years. Our first full year, we did $350,000. We had a lot of challenges this year, but we still expect to double that this year.
That's awesome.
No, it's not where I want it to be, but it's better than zero.
What was your goal for this year, if you don't mind my asking?
$1 million. $1 million for this year.
That's a great goal.
We'll definitely hit it next year. I'm a lot smarter now than I was a year ago.
And so now your sales this year so far have been mostly grocery, or what else?
Mostly grocery. 75%.
Wow. So tell me a little about the grocery. What's your average sales price? That's what scares me. That's what keeps me away from grocery most.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not as nice as I'd like it to be. It's a little over $20.
That's for grocery. I'm no expert at grocery, but that sounds like a respectable number to me.
It's not bad, but you have to learn to get away from single boxes.
I hear you. So let me tell you a little. Have you been doing a lot of Halloween candy? I assume you are.
I did not.
You didn't? Okay.
I as a matter of fact, I do a little coaching myself, and I always tell my clients, don't buy Halloween candy, buy regular candy, because after October 31st, if it has pumpkins on it, everybody's going to say, oh, that's old. I don't want to buy that. But if it's still Snickers bars will sell just as well in October as they will in November.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
That's a great point. And
thank you. Yep.
Wow. Barry's in big time. Barry, I wish you would get on and teach me something.
Barry's always saying his biggest problem is that his vendors want such advance notice. I'll tell you, I'm not a grocery guy. I very rarely do, but I said, I'm trying to get a little more into seasonal. So something I did about 2 weeks ago was I went into Walmart and I scanned all their big bags of candy, and I made a buy list. And every couple of days or whatever, it was kind of like, let's see if Amazon's going to go out of stock on any of them. And, last night, and call me crazy, but last night I was finally had a minute to look at that list. And I went through them and I found 2 items. One of them Amazon was never in on. I was kind of tracking to see if the rank would improve because it was like 155,000. And the other one was ranked in the triple digits. And Amazon was in on it, though, at like $15. Cost was like $10 at Walmart. And Amazon's out of stock on it, and it's about $25 or so. I actually ran out to Walmart and bought 100 bags of 100 bags of it. And the pain was that to ship it in, the options that I had was to ship it all into CVG3 if I put a shipping plan of 100 units, which would probably get redistributed is my concern, in which case who knows when that would be available for sale. So instead, what I did was I started creating shipments of 10, 15 units each, and it split it up into 3 places: California, CVG, and RIC2. And what I did was I adjusted the numbers to the max potential that they allowed, and then I created the second shipment and added it to the first, had it added to the first. So I managed to send about half of it to RIC2, a little less than half to CVG3, and the remainder, like 15 bags, to California. So, Angel, what do you think? Am I crazy? Do you think it shipped out today? Should start hitting FCs within 2 days. Do you think I'm going to sell it or not?
Well, you're not going to sell the California stuff.
Okay.
That unfortunately, if it's the ONT8, it's a distribution warehouse.
No, it's OAK.
Oh, well, that one I don't know.
I never saw that one before.
Yeah, we have 4 warehouses in the Phoenix area, and we never get to ship there.
I no offense, but I hate PHX. I get them on a regular basis, and
I would love to get them, because the few times we have gotten them, our shipments get there in 1 day, as opposed to sending it to, say, Pennsylvania, that takes a full week.
Yep.
So
Well, we all think that Amazon doesn't know what they're doing, where they're sending stuff cross country, but I'm convinced they know exactly what they're doing. They're looking at where you're located, and they're shipping it to the furthest possible location.
It makes more money for their shipping partner.
Well, I don't think they really care about that. The only part, in all honesty, joking aside,
I mean, it's like a box.
I don't think Amazon. I just think Amazon hasn't made the system smart enough yet to be considerate of, or just doesn't care to be considerate of that factor.
For Lego.
So, it is what it is.
From the blog.
There is a website that allows you to.
But
There is a website that.
So I figured it was worth a shot. What do I got to lose? A couple of $100, gain a couple of $100. Let's learn something new. So, Angel, you were saying that this is going to be this Q4, you're going to go venture into toys heavier than you have in the past, right?
Well, we did almost no toys. I think maybe we sold, I don't know, $8,000 in toys last year. So that's like nothing.
And by the way, Angel, do you want to turn your camera on?
No.
Okay.
But thank you.
Okay, so this year you want to change that up. So what's your plan to make that happen?
I've been doing mostly Amazon flips because it's just really so easy. And I go in every night and I buy a few $100 worth of toys and watch the prices go up.
Okay. So do you have any plans for Black Friday, or are you strictly going to do OA for your toys?
I'm 100% OA personally, but my boys do RA. And so one of them, he considers Black Friday his holiday. His favorite holiday of the year is Black Friday, he says. So who knows what they'll buy? Who knows what they'll buy?
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we talk a little bit about Black Friday, and I'll actually share a couple of tips that I have for Black Friday. First of all, those of you who missed last week, Scanner Monkey had their show was about toys, and that was a great show, a lot for everybody to learn. So if you did not hear that, I would suggest, if you're a Scanner Monkey member, I would suggest going back and listening to that. That was definitely one for the books. Jay, you're just biased. I could give the unbiased view over here, but so it was a great show. But a couple of things to let's see, Black Friday. So last year, my Black Friday, I had a goal of spending $10,000 on Black Friday alone in store. And the way we made that happen was I rented a cargo van, my wife had her minivan, and my brother had his car, and we split up. And I'm a big fan of doing things in orders of stores. If I'm hitting a bunch of Targets, I'm just going to hit Targets. If I'm hitting Walmarts, etc. Even though geographically it can add a little bit of time, But I would say that I personally find it easier to go into one store and hit everything in that store and then move on to the next. So we split up. I went to Toys R Us's initially and then Target. My wife went to Walmart, etc. Now, the first thing I want to say is when you get to these places at 10 o'clock at night, it's going to be crazy over there. Everyone's lining up. Although, honestly, in my opinion, it's not as bad as it's been in previous years. I think more people are deciding to wait it out, order online. You get just as good deals as online at many times, although you can't get 100 of the item necessarily if you're ordering it online. So that doesn't necessarily work for us. Jay, good seeing you. I'll talk to you. Enjoy bedtime stories. So I hit Toys R Us first, and here's where I want to share my first tip of the day. And that is you're going in, and there's crowds, and you want to fill up more than one cart. And we can all push one cart or pull one cart, but how do you go about doing more than 2 carts? And my first thought was I was just going to have to check out and then go back in for the next round. And then I started, as I got into line, and that line at 10:30 was probably 50 people in front of me in line. It was wrapped around the store. They had the line set up. And I would just hold my place in line and keep adding carts. And then I just hit upon the idea. I had some empty plastic shopping bags, and I started using the shopping bags. And we all know the old buckle the carts together when they fit. But the Toys R Us carts don't fit together. You can't buckle them together to make a train. So what I did was I took these plastic bags. I took these plastic bags and made them basically into a rope. And I tied, one basket cart to the next. One basket cart to the next. And by the time it was my turn to check out, I had about 10 to 12 of these shopping carts. And, of course, I got all the usual, from people, Black Friday, they see you buying this much toys. They're like, oh, is that going to charity? That's so sweet of you. And I'm just like, it's going to a worthy cause, So, that was my first thing about Toys R Us. Now, the next tip about Toys R Us is when you go in a store, you want to know where that product you're looking for is. You want to get that product. You want to get through that store as quickly as possible on Black Friday. The one great thing about Toys R Us is, and first of all of you should be making a shopping list before you get into the store. And before you get into a store, know what 10, 15 items you're looking for in that store. So that when you get in, find those 10, 15 items, get in, get out. The great thing about Toys R Us is they have an app. If you go, or I don't remember if it's on their app or on their website, if you plug in each item into their website and you put in the store you're going to, it will tell you the location of that item in store. So when I go to Toys R Us on Black Friday, I know that I'm going to aisle B12, C15, D10, etc., etc. I don't need to wander through the aisle saying, hey, excuse me, do you know where the Calico Friends kit that's on sale is? And so, that was just a huge time saver in Toys R Us. Here's the next thing. Barry, I hear you. Well, Target's going to be interesting this year, Barry. So I don't think it matters a touch or not. I think it's going to be about relationships with managers. But we'll get to that in a second. So, and if anybody has any questions or anything to throw in, just pipe in over here. Whether you want to come on cam or say something in the chat room, just feel free. So the next thing was Target. We had our list over there. And Target's actually where I ended up off the night. So my goal again was 10K. And funny story, some of you may have heard this before. At the end of the night, I went to one last Target, which was a half hour out of the way because they supposedly had 130 of these Nerf guns that I wanted to get and would have put me at my goal of spending $10,000. I get there, they only had 65, which was a huge quantity for a Target store to have of the item. And I'm checking out and literally about to swipe my card when a store manager dashes over, hits cancel, and says, That's for resale. We can't sell it to you. And boy, I am not even going to tell you what I thought about her. But she did end up letting me get 30, made me pay sales tax on it. But I would have paid sales tax on the full lot. So although Nerf guns, we all know, is a thorny minefield right now. It'll be interesting to see what happens with it. And those of you who don't know, Amazon's been it was the subject of a lawsuit by the state of New York. New York saying that it's against their laws because the guns look too realistic. Amazon's gone into overdrive, deleting listings that clearly do not look realistic. So we'll see what happens after a month or two once that blows over. Hopefully, you know, some Nerf guns, the ones that aren't realistic looking, will be back on board. I'm thinking that Nerf is going to make sure their guns don't look realistic anymore, but who knows? We'll see about that. And then Walmart was the same thing. Walmart was actually the most difficult store to walk through. Even coming 2-3 hours later, you were slowly walking down the aisle. And the great thing with Walmart was that pretty much anything you wanted was along the perimeters of the runway. So you basically walked for a loop, and as you passed each thing, man, yeah, I had 15 things on my list, but in any given store I found 5 or 10, but I would just clear out the entire display. So there was a Barbie dream house that we went with, and well, that was a flop, but you know, there was like one place had 30 or 40 of them. Okay, clear them out, you know, and on to the next thing. So, you know, at the end of the night, we ended up with 100 to 200 of each item from the different stores that we went to, you know, to ship in. And then finally, of course, you want to be the first ones getting this product into Amazon. So we stay after working a full night, although I got home about 3 a.m., slept for a few hours. In the morning, we just killed it, packing this. We got it all out of the house. Friday at about 5 o'clock, UPS picked it all up and got it out to the warehouses, and it was live within a day or two, some of it. Dean, thanks for joining us. Look forward to seeing you. So that was our Black Friday. Now, a couple of lessons in general about Q4 that I took. This will be my third Q4, and that is repricer. I strongly believe we would have done even better last year. Well, we had a great Q4. We had a great year last year. We were doing Amazon part-time. This is our first year that we're doing this full-time. We went full-time in February. And I firmly believe that our repricer is definitely going to be a competitive advantage this year that will really help us get rid of our product a lot faster, sell it at best prices, and sell it and move on to the next thing. The other thing is, last year, manually repricing, you know, we looked at things, and everyone's sitting there thinking, obviously, well, the low ballers, let them sell out, and then we'll wait for the prices to jump up. I don't believe the prices really jumped up as much last year as they have in previous years. Obviously, there's more sellers, but the fact is there's also more sellers who are very simply realizing, and many people like to blame the low ballers, but the fact is, hey, if I can sell something within a week and make 20, 30, 40, 50% ROI in Q4 and flip that money many times, heck yeah, let's go for it. It's not my business what the other people are making. I want to move the 100 units I got. I want to move it quickly. Let's move on. So this year, we're not going to sit there waiting until December 15th to say, oh my God, these prices never recovered or never shot to where we expected. Instead, I'm going to, you know, we'll keep an eye on prices continuously, and we'll be okay with smaller margins so long as we sell that product quickly. What else did I want to talk about as far as Q4? So another thing that we do Q4 is, here's my way of looking at when I'm making my list, is a lot of the hot items, it's still too early to know what's going to be the hot items. But here's what I look at. I look at is there a listing for it already? If it's a new listing and it looks professionally created, and the places where there's money to be made, then you know what? And it's a brand that I recognize, something I believe will be a good seller from past years' experience, I'll go ahead and jump on it. Take, for example, the Nerf guns last year. Okay, there was no data to tell me that this was going to be a winner. But it was a Target exclusive. It was Nerf. You know, those two things tell me that it was going to be a good seller. And I went as deep as I could. I think I got like 150 of them. I would have trust me, I would have gotten another 150, 200 if I could have. And we made good money off of them. So that was my Q4 last year. This year, we're hoping to crush it. It'll be interesting to see, since our biggest sales are actually shoes, followed by clothing. So it'll be interesting to see whether we get that big uptick in shoes or not. But we are absolutely going to go back to do a more of a focus on toys for Q4. You know, start filling up the warehouse with toys so that we can take advantage of the best-selling category for Q4. So now that we got that out of the way, who's interested in coming in on and talking about their Q4 strategies, any questions, etc.?
Mendy, what's going on, man?
What's going on, man?
Dude, I'm filling up with gas because I'm in the middle of a 14-hour RA run.
That's how we roll, right?
It's that time of year. It's just got to be done. Let's see if I can. Can I turn the camera? I can't turn the camera around, but hang on. Can you see what's behind me? You see my trailer back there?
I see your trailer, yeah.
Oh, that sucker's loaded.
Nice.
Oh, man.
So I'm excited.
About 9 o'clock this morning.
9 o'clock this morning, and what time are you going to be home?
Should be home hopefully by 11.
Wow. So any particular stores you want to share with us that you've been hitting, or is that top secret?
Nope. Top secret, yo. Oh, man. It was a good day, though. Hit some of the regular box stores, hit some little specialty places. But, man, I'm glad you're on because I was tired, and you're kind of keeping me awake, so I appreciate that.
You know, Dwayne, I'll let you in on a little secret. One of the things I love about my coaching calls that I do when I'm driving is because it's boring driving.
It is.
I love it. Gives me something to do.
Especially at night. Oh, my God, it's horrible. You know, you've been up all day. Been like jazzed up for this trip and all that good stuff, and now it's kind of over, and I just want to unwind. Like I said, I got another hour left to go, but I think Leron just posted how much did I spend.
He was asking you that.
Yeah, it was just shy of 4,000. I think I'm at like 3,800, so I'm happy with that. I had no goal in mind other than I'm just going to buy as much crap as I can on my list. I went with a list and hit a few stores. The drive, it was a long drive though. It's about it's good 2.5, 3 hours each way. So that's a good chunk of the 14 hours was not actually at the store, but more getting there.
Are these stores that aren't in your neck of the woods, so you got to go out a bit?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, okay, cool. Dwayne, did I ask you about Rugged Warehouse? Have you ever seen them?
About what?
Have you ever heard of a chain called Rugged Warehouse?
No, never heard of them. No idea what it is.
You should check it out. I think that, I ran into them the first time 2 weeks ago on my road trip home in Athens, Georgia. And they're kind of like a Marshall's TJ Maxx type discounter, but smaller than Marshall's TJ Maxx. And they just had some great – they've got in Georgia, they've got in Maryland. They're not a big chain, but they've got some. And I just went in – I was staying by some buddies for the Sabbath, and we were talking about my business, and you got to go to Rugged Warehouse. So I went in there Saturday night an hour before closing, and I spent $750 on running shoes. That was easily 100% to 150% ROI. And we're talking Saucony and Merrell. And
nice.
Excuse me, Brooks. $150 Brooks for like $45, $50.
Dude, you can't beat that.
No.
That's freaking awesome.
So if you're ever in the area of one of them, they've got a website, Rugged Warehouse, WEARHOUS.
Okay. Yeah, I'm actually considering a trip to Athens, so I may actually do that.
Nice place to visit.
Is there much there for RA? I've never actually been up there.
By the way, is that T-shirt what I think it is?
Oh, it is.
I like it.
It is. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. I'm in the car now, but here, I'll step out just for a second. Just a shout out to the $1 million ideas. I got a lot of questions about that today. People saying that, they were like, "Is that your business?" I was like, "Nope, that's a conference I went to."
Nice. Yeah. I was wearing one of them yesterday, and I got a comments about it. So, what's your $1 million that you're making? I'm like,
Can't tell you that.
But yeah. So what categories were you sourcing today?
Everything, man. Honestly, I say everything. I didn't do any shoes and clothing. It was more health and personal care, home and kitchen, toys, definitely, because it's Q4. I don't know, pet products, you name it. If it's got a good rank, I'll buy it. I made a post about that last night in Fast Turn Radio. Just the simple fact is, Amazon's selling millions of units. That's not what I posted, but that was kind of my thought, was they're selling millions of units a day. There's stuff moving. So I see a lot of these posts about anybody else having a slow day, anybody else, not really seeing the Q4 bump. And, the fact is, they're selling really fast every day. You just have the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And that's not to be mean. It's something that I had to learn myself. It was a hard lesson to learn. But there's no one to blame but you if your stuff's not selling. You can't blame lowballers. You can't, it's just you're the one that picked the products and you picked the price.
Or like I said to that thread, in my case, it was very simple. We had a great August. We had a record month, I think like 65,000 or so. And then September and the first half of October, September we did like 40 something. And October, we started off the month slow. But that's very simple because I took vacation. If I'm not selling a product, there's not going to be product selling. You got to keep feeding the beast.
Yeah, and you're right. You do have to feed the beast. But I was just saying you got to feed it the right stuff. If you send in 6,000 books that are all ranked 1 million plus, you fed the beast, but he didn't like what you were giving him, and he's not going to spit the money back out at you for as a way of saying thank you.
And I just want to mention, just since you mentioned $1 million rank, I belong probably to, just like you, to way too many Facebook groups. And I know there's a lot of new sellers getting started out there, and to them $1 million rank, they might not understand and think that, hey, that's great. I'm going to make quadruple my money, 400% a lot. There's one group I see this guy, posting stuff. Great for an Amazon seller, 400,000 rank in grocery.
That's great. It sold last year. Awesome.
Yeah, that's nice. And I simply made a comment because, I kind of feel like I don't want to see these people get taken for a ride if they don't know better. And Sarah told me I should keep my nose out of these things, but I just made a comment like, I think it was like, yeah, but with that rank, it's more likely to go out of, it's more likely to expire than to sell.
Yeah, definitely with grocery, you run into that. There's no doubt.
I get attacked, but it seems like Barry says he's got the secret on how to sell it. So, Barry, pipe in on the chat or about what the secret is. And you guys got the right idea.
Yeah, I've had a lot of questions about do I adjust my rank for Q4, and I really don't. As far as what I source, I still stay under 150,000 in toy. I still 100,000 in home and kitchen. All the same ranks that I use throughout the year. It still applies because once you cross a certain line, that product's just crap, and it's never going to sell. And don't listen to the people that say everything sells in Q4 because it's just not true. If a product is junk, it's junk. I don't care what time of year it is. So I tend to stick to my guns. What I will do differently is go deeper. Rather than buy one or two of 150 ranked toy, I might buy 10 or 20 of them because they'll probably move really well, So the increased velocity, I'll increase how deep I go on the upper limits of where I'm comfortable buying, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Now I'm different. See, during the year I really don't focus on toys anymore because I mean, you know me, Dwayne. I like my shoes. You know.
You do,
When
and you're making a killing with it.
I went out today. I went to Marshall's for 3 hours. Not even, like 2.5 hours. I filled up 3 carts overflowing. Spent $2,300 on items that's all going to be minimum 100% ROI. Great ranking items that's nobody else is, you know, great rank, but no one's got it. You know, it's like, what else can you ask for?
I love the sold out sizes. Yeah, you give me the, you know, number 1300 Croc or whatever, and nobody has the size 9. Dude, I'm all over.
About that, Dwayne. I got stuff. I got the whole size run that nobody has that color.
Oh, nice.
And it's black or white.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the best color out there, you know. Those of you who don't know shoes, you know, black and white is your 2 best-selling colors out there.
Yep, absolutely. That's great, man. Now to say you filled 3 carts at Marshall's is kind of like saying you filled a cart at Sam's.
Well,
so, you know.
well no. Wait, Dwayne, I should have taken a picture for you because, I mean, these carts were stacked higher than me. I'm a short guy, you know, but yeah, no, I mean, we're talking $2,300, you know.
No, that's awesome.
A very little space.
Yeah. No, man, that's fantastic. It's but toys. See, I sell toys year round. I was actually surprised when I did my road to 500K inside the numbers kind of stuff the other night, and you know, we're at 330 for the year, and I want to say 77,000 was toys. I was like, and that was our
handicap the past month and a half trying to let you catch up. Now I got to see where I'm at.
Yeah, I've had a good couple of days too. I had a good couple of days on Sunday and Monday. Today's Tuesday, right? I think.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah, today's Tuesday, right? Yeah. Okay, so Sunday and Monday were like $3,000 days, and today we're like barely scratching 1,500. So I guess we sold out everything.
Well, you know, my problem was, you know, I watched my numbers drop over vacation, you know, to where they were getting to $1,000 days. And now I'm building back up. I mean, last week sent them a major shipment, and, you know, we're back. You know, we're now at, yesterday we did a little over 2,000. But I still got you by about 14,000 for the year.
Oh, man, you're killing me.
Hey, but I know you're going to overtake me. I'm going to try and prevent you. You know, I'm going to try killing it myself. But
yeah, and in all honesty, I don't know how your shoes work out. Obviously, there are much higher returns, you know, ROI-wise than the stuff I'm selling.
They are 10 to 12% ROI is standard in the shoes category. However, one thing to consider is that, first of all, I do use Amazon's restocking. What do they call it? Repackaging.
Yeah.
And my reason for that is very simple. I'm commingled, so even if I don't use the what's it called, the repackaging, to say the next guy isn't, and my customers are still getting that product.
Okay.
And you know what? If my customer gets a bad shoe because Amazon screwed up, you know, in their repackaging, well, I'm gonna tell Amazon that it's their fault.
Yeah, the problem is if you get enough used sold as new, they're going to shut you down, and they don't like you to point the finger at them when they shut you down. That's my fear with repackaging.
I'll tell you what, I've been doing shoes and clothing, shoes for, I don't know, half a year now.
Yeah.
And I really don't get much negative feedback. I got a few negative feedbacks because with one brand of shoes, I wasn't careful, didn't realize that they were price tags inside the box too.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, but those get removed for, you know, just open a case.
Yeah.
But yeah. And Leon makes a great point, by the way. If you are buying shoes by Marshalls, those guys like to put a marker. It's funny. They'll write on the bottom of one of the shoes with a marker what the price is, because I guess they had theft issues where people would sit there and swap tags or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I used my trick. I've been using nail polish remover with a toothbrush to scrub it out. Problem is,
Okay.
nail polish can kind of like, depending on the finish of the shoe, can kind of leave a little bit of a smudge or something. I'm gonna try. I'll try alcohol next time. Now that someone made that point, but I just, if it's a drop of a smudge, I'm not gonna, if it, as long as it's really not ruining the shoe. You know what I mean?
I'm with you. I'm a little paranoid with my shoes, and that's probably why I don't sell a lot of them. But if they don't have tags, or they either need tags or a box, first of all. So I don't go to the Marshalls like general rack and just buy stuff. It's got to be the boxed shoes generally. If they don't have the box, if they at least have the tags, like say Crocs, because Crocs don't have a box, I'm good with that. If it's not, I don't know about the smudge. I'd have to see what the smudge looks like. Yeah, that's kind of a gut call as to whether or not it's okay.
Right.
But yeah, I'm interested to see how Q4 works out with shoes and clothing. That was actually
about that.
Yeah, that was our third highest grossing category last year, which blew me away. Was $10,000 in clothing. I had no idea. So
I've done $111,000 this year in shoes so far.
oh wow, that's crazy! Congratulations.
I don't even know when I started shoes. I should check that.
Yeah, I don't know what mine are, but it's nowhere close to that at all.
You know what my first pair of shoes was?
No.
It was a pair of shoes for $280, a men's shoes for $280, Colehan Leningrad or something. So on a list, it was like $90 or $100 a pair. And I'm like, what the hell am I thinking? But I mean, the numbers added up. Everything just like said that this is a great buy. So I bought one of each size, and I was sold after that.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to get addicted when you're looking at that kind of stuff. I believe that.
Yep. And I really didn't even start selling heavy in shoes until May, looking at my history over there. Baby shoes are great, Leon. Every kind of shoe, it's funny. Kids' shoes, people like to stay away from. They just don't know it, okay? It's not a reason to stay away from it. Yeah, I get a play on baby steps. Yeah, well, they were men's shoes. And I think I was more shocked. I'd expect women to spend $300 on a pair of shoes. I guess I didn't expect men to spend that kind of money.
What makes you think a man did?
It was a pair of men's shoes, but I mean, that doesn't say anything these days.
No, I just mean it's probably a woman that bought it for her husband, because, yeah, no guy's spending $300 on a pair of shoes. I don't see it happening.
And you remember that word from like 10, 15 years ago, metrosexuals?
Oh, yeah.
Those guys are buying it.
That's true. My brother-in-law is one of the most fashion-conscious men I've ever met in my life. So, yeah, they are out there.
Well, I'll tell you, I never used to. I was the guy that I really don't care about brands. I hate shopping for clothing for myself. Just give me a T-shirt, shorts, whatever. It fits great. I really don't care. Okay. And it's funny now when I go places, I'm looking at the shoes people are wearing, the clothing that they're wearing, and thinking, oh, okay, that's a good brand to sell. Oh, that's, that doesn't sell for nothing. And shit, when I look at Under Armour now, I'm like, those bastards, I can't sell that no more.
Yeah, has that actually come to fruition yet? I've heard rumors, but I haven't seen it myself.
I seen the letter from elsewhere. I never got the letter, and I've got a lot to use for Under Armour, so I'm kind of wondering what's going to happen.
Hey, Mendy, can you hear me?
I do. Who is that, Leron?
Leron.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I bought some Under Armour today. So I went to add a product, and I put in, because somebody said that they asked Seller Central, and Seller Central told them that yes, Under Armour is restricted, and as of September 17th, you won't be able to send in any more Under Armour. Now, I know for a fact that that's not true because I've sent in Under Armour. So I went to add a product, and I put in the word Under Armour. Some stuff does come up restricted, but a lot of stuff does not. So I think it's just certain items, and that you really need to check when you're buying. And that's what it is.
That's a great point, and it really also goes to everyone's risk tolerance as well. The way I look at something that goes restricted is it's kind of, you got a couple of months to figure out until Amazon decides exactly how they want to go. So it could be that they're only going to restrict certain ASINs, or it could be that they're just didn't realize that these other ASINs are Under Armour because that's just the way they are sometimes.
Well, right, but even that letter that was circulating, that email that somebody got, had specific ASINs on it.
The letter that I saw didn't have specific ASINs. It just said all Under Armour would be, from what I recall, it was a blanket statement. Under Armour is now going to be a restricted brand.
Because I think you can ask Dwayne. I think what Dwayne saw maybe was the same thing with specific items.
Dwayne, you recall?
No, I never actually saw the letter. I've just heard the rumors.
Dwayne,
the letter.
This was posted on Threads and Treads.
Hold on one second. Let's see if
Doesn't mean I saw it. Just because I'm an admin, I should have seen it. I don't think I've actually read the letter.
I'm gonna see if I can find the letter right now in Scanner Monkey.
I almost wonder if they're doing kind of what was it Adidas who came out and said, you can't sell certain current shoes like cleats or whatever.
That was Mizuno.
Okay,
Mizuno had, you couldn't sell current.
I'm almost.
Hold on.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if they're doing that same sort of thing with Under Armour, where if it's some of the older, line, whatever, it's okay. But if it's the new stuff that they're selling on, maybe not.
Yeah, only time will tell. I'm kind of right now, like I tell my wife, because Sarah does all the pricing. I said, drop Under Armour pricing, because everything that we're selling Under Armour, there's so much room to drop the pricing. I said, you know what? Just sell it all. Let's make our money off of it. I don't want to get stuck, November 1st or whatever, November 15th, finding out that I got to remove all this product and get it hung with it. I'd rather, I'm going to sell it out. I'll wait a couple of months, and then we'll go hit it again after the holidays if it's not.
Thanks, Mendy.
Hey, Leon, I appreciate your input. And Grace was asking about high-end shoes. Do you Reeboks or Polybag? So, Grace, it's interesting. I've changed my strategy a little bit. And hold on one second. Let me see if I can find one of these cards. I used to be a fan that if it's anything but Crocs or flip-flops, I'm only going to buy it if it's in the original box. And then I was talking with another seller, and it was, well, they're polybagging. And so they had this idea, and I'm copying. And basically, I printed up these cards. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you guys read it at all? And it says, where's my shoebox? And it says, in a shoebox, your shoes would have taken up 50% more space on the delivery truck, which would have a greater carbon footprint. Thank you for allowing us to help the environment one pair of shoes at a time. And basically, I am putting that in the poly bag with the shoes. And all of a sudden, I'm turning the negative, getting your shoes in a poly bag, into a positive, is how I feel. So even people who wouldn't be happy originally, I think, would accept this. It's not going to be loose in a poly bag. It is pretty. It's kind of tight. So it looks. It's how you package it. If you make it look professionally packaged, I think you can get away with it. But to each their own. That's one of the things that I think Amazon is either eventually going to make a ruling that you can't poly bag, or they're going to say that works for us. And the thing is, again, I get my stuff repackaged. Okay, there are times that Amazon sends us stuff that they're sending my shoes, they're repackaging them into poly bags either way. So that's just a call for you. Always hold yourself to high standards. But, you know, if you'd be comfortable receiving it like that and you think it can be done in a classy way, then go for it. And, of course, you know, if you start getting negative feedbacks about it, then you may want to reevaluate.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And whoever came up with those cards, that was a stroke of brilliance. I've seen those, and yeah, that's fantastic.
It was definitely brilliant. Definitely brilliant. So, Dwayne, back to your toy thing about, you know, the ranks. And I just want to say I actually do it a little different to you. I do go higher in Q4. But that's because year-round I'm not going to source. Typically, I'm going to kind of put like 80, maybe 100,000 as the top rank that I'll source.
Okay.
And I don't focus on toys. But, you know, if I'm going to get toys, that they're usually going to be under 50,000 even. But come Q4, if it's up, like you said, up to 150,000, I'll go and I'll get 5, 10 of them.
Yeah, I've found that 150,000 sells somewhere between once and twice a week. So, you know, assuming that there's not a ton of competition, it's not like it's going to sit there for the next 3 months at 150,000.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But when you cross into like the 200,000, 225, that's the stuff that I've found. You don't know how long it's going to sit. You know, it hasn't sold in a long time. That there's a point in there somewhere where it goes from kind of a consistent seller to who knows when. You know, and so that's why I go up to 150.
Yeah. Exactly. And then, you know, so there is room with rank. There's always a place to make an exception. If you look at the product and you see it's got hundreds of reviews. Okay, and once upon a time it was 5,000, 10,000. Well, is there a reason that it's now 200,000? Is it because it used to sell for $19.99 and now no one's got it, so it sells for $200, and you know it's just not moving? I had a toy like that I bought at $16. It was priced at $129. I bought a pallet of them, and well, I mean.
No, it makes perfect sense.
Moving once or twice a month or whatever, 3 times a month. And I ended up dropping it slowly, did some ads, and I unloaded them all between $50 to $70 a piece.
Yeah, there are definitely other factors to take into account, just, you know, besides rank. And that's a perfect example. You know, when you buy something that is $10, $15 and it's selling for $150, well, yeah, that may be the issue. So
yeah,
definitely do your research. I mean, don't just take it as a blanket statement. But at the same time, I'm not going to click over to Camel on every 400 ranked toy that I find.
No,
yeah, it's just not happening.
I was telling Chris that a feature that I'd like to see in Scan Power, for that matter, any scouting gap, is start showing how many reviews the product has.
Yeah. Yeah, I've started relying on that so much more recently than even the rank. Because, you know, sometimes the rank is a sub-rank. Well, you know, one of the easy ways to tell is if it's ranked 103, but there's no reviews.
Well,
that's not accurate.
If it's got a very low rank, you know, to me, I look at it as, Dwayne, me and you have been doing this for a couple of years now. You know, we can look at a product and we can scan it, and when it shows up ranked 950, we can say, that makes sense that this would be 950. Or we say, nah, that doesn't make sense. In which case, go over to the page and just look at the rank on Amazon's own page and see if they're ranking its subcategory or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it's got the reviews to support that rank.
Yeah, see, and I don't normally bother going that far with it, because if I'm on mobile, well, actually I have my iPad, but you know, with Scan Power, when you click the picture, it takes you to the page that has the reviews but not the rank. So that's why I just stop right there.
How with clothing takes you to the variation page, but regardless of what you go to, the first thing I always, and I'm not an Apple guy, so I don't know if it'll work with Apple as easily, but Android, I just hit the first thing I hit is bring me the desktop site.
Oh, okay.
And especially for shoes, I want to. I actually like that it brings me to the variation page, because I want to see. Can you guys hear me? I just hit a button.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, with shoes, I want to see the different variations. I want to see, is it just that this pair is selling for 150 and everything else is selling for 35, or is this a realistic pricing?
Yep, I'm with you. I love the fact that it goes to the variation. And if you're doing shoes and clothing, I will say this, you have to have scan power. If you are doing shoes and clothing and you don't have scan power, I promise you are getting negative or false negatives saying that there's no listing, can't be found. Scan power will at least tell you there's none available, but that it'll give you the rank. It just says basically this style isn't there, which is exactly what you want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's funny because when the first time I scanned into Marshalls, I scanned with, you know, Profit Bandit was my go-to app. And I still love Profit Bandit. Just if I'm doing shoes and clothing, you better believe that I'm going to use scan power.
Yeah, and I have no idea what they've done or why it works on scan power, but not the others. But
Profit Bandit told me that they will be coming out with their next release will support shoes and clothing rank. They actually said that they submitted already a couple of days ago to the app stores and just waiting for approval.
oh, okay.
But so I like both apps. I mean, you know, there's pros and cons to each one. You know, I like that that Profit Bandit makes it easy to go to Camel or search Google products and all that. Okay.
Well, you know you can put those hot links into scan power.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to check into that then.
All right. Yeah, it's real easy to do, but I mean, it is nice that Profit Bandit has that already built in. I went away from them because I got tired of it crashing. I don't know if it still crashes like it used to or not, but
no,
it's been a couple of years now, so I gave up.
And doesn't, you know what crashes for me? The frickin' scan fob.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you a funny story. I was scanning today. You know, I have 2 scan fobs, and one of them, you know, they go into these moods. Like one time, there'll be a period of a couple of months where one scan fob's working better, and then the other scan fob's working better. So I took both scan fobs because the one that I like better currently was low on battery, so I figured I'd use it till it died. Well, I have 2 ways of carrying my scan fob. Sometimes it's hanging around my neck, and sometimes I put it in my pocket. So I would sit there, and the one I was using was hanging around my neck. And every once in a while, you know, I'd let go of my scan fob so that I can fill up the cart with shoes. And then I'd reach into my pocket and I'd grab the other scan fob and I'd be scanning it. And I'd be like, what the hell? It doesn't want to, you know, it's not scanning. And so I'd sit there and I'd hit serial magnetic disconnect, reconnect, and it's still not working.
Do yourself a favor. Get rid of your scan fobs. Go get a KBC, and your life will be much simpler. Your battery won't die. It won't just drop on you. The KDC, and the price is down to like, I just picked up a spare one for I think $220, where I paid $400 2 years ago.
Groups a KDC for like $150. Maybe it's in.
Yeah, he's posted in a few places where he has the used KDCs.
Is that a good version of it?
Yeah, the version is fine. Now, you know, I don't know what used means exactly. I don't know how used they are, but I've seen a few people that bought them that said they were, you know, in perfect condition, came with the wires and all that good stuff. So,
yeah,
because it uses a funny little connector.
Mendy, get the glove with the KDC.
Okay.
It'll save you so much time. Left-handed glove, and you got your phone in the other hand.
You guys can't see. Yeah, I was going to try to show you my glove.
I've seen the glove. I've seen it. I've just never used it. Yeah, I hear you. Can I hold the phone and the glove in my left hand?
You can.
You can if you want to.
You want to hold the phone in your right hand or put it in the cart and use the other hand for the glove, because you're pressing the button to scan with your thumb. So you want to have probably the phone in the other hand or in the cart.
Interesting. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, it looks like it's the KDC 200.
Yeah, that's the one. That works for both the iPhone and the Android.
Is the 400 better?
No, John Gwillow got a 400, and it was a pain in the butt to try to set up. Just get the 200. That's all you need.
I'm going to message him now, find out if he still has them.
Yeah, the battery, I scanned with mine all day today, and I would be surprised if I've used 1 bar of the battery, and it's got 4 bars. So
Dwayne,
usually,
do you keep a charger for it? I charge mine basically only in the car. Every time I'm driving, I charge the glove. That's good enough.
no, I usually, like, when I get home tonight, I'll probably plug it in and let it charge overnight. And if I forget, it usually gets through at least a good couple of days. And by that time, I remember to plug it in. I think once last year during Q4, it actually died on me. Like I forgot to charge it and actually wore it out. But that is so rare. And now I have all kinds of juice packs or whatever you want to call them. I carry 3 freaking external batteries with me wherever I go. So running out of power will not be my issue this year.
Yeah. Well, Christopher Grant says he still has plenty of them left. So I guess I'm going to have to try that. Where do I get the glove from, and what do those run?
Those are $100 from Coamtac. What is it? Koamtac.
I was able to get a glove on Amazon when I ordered it a few months ago. ThinkFest, the seller actually had it. They had one left in a left hand. So at the time, I don't know if they have it, but I got mine on Amazon.
What did you pay, Leon?
About 120, something like that. I can look it up, but around there. I can find it for it and see if it's still there.
Hey, listen, we can afford treats every now and then. I see it. It's go for horrible rate.
Oh yeah, it was
300,000 in HPC, or 300 in sports and outdoors, or 230 in electronics.
It's worth it.
It's a very special product. It's not like the masses are going out looking for a left-handed scanning glove size medium.
Absolutely. Not the kind of item. Yeah, for sure. So, but yeah, I'm going to have to check that out. Because I'll tell you, I used to actually go.
Dude, it's awesome. If your battery is dying.
My battery life's good, usually. I just didn't charge it. That's what it was.
This thing, that won't be an issue. I'm telling you. I literally think I could go, 2 days and probably 3 days without charging it and scan stores all day long. It's amazing.
Yep, I hear you. How many hours straight would you say you can get out of it?
I don't even know. 12, 15 maybe. I usually scan for about 4 hours, 5 hours when I do a full day. And so, yeah, I'm thinking 2 to 3 days, easy.
I'm going to have to check that out. You know, I got to say, I'm just off topic, but time saver, the one thing that's killing me nowadays is the checkout time. I hate it.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, you know what I do when I'm by Marshall's to save time? When I'm in line or by the register, I remove the hangers from the bras and stuff. I sit there checking the size against the shoes. Just one less thing, to speed it up.
Yep, I'm with you. That's awful. It is absolutely painful to check out. And Harvey's got it, man. Mitchell, he has a checkout guy.
Yep.
He's like, here, you check out. I'm going to the next store. That's awesome. I can't afford a checkout guy, but I want one.
It's a big expense when you think about it, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I would like a checkout person. Even tonight, it was, with all the stuff that I got, and they had, as I parked carts up at the front of the store, they were actually taking down the SKUs and the quantities and all that. So they'd pre-done a lot of the work, but still just to put it all in and do the final few things that I had in my cart, it was about a half-hour checkout process. That kind of sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it can, and by Marshall's, it can easily be at least a half hour there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there were some killer back-to-school runs where I was standing at the checkout line for a long, long time. I even had one.
About those back-to-school runs.
Yeah, I had one store that wanted every single backpack unzipped and checked. I was like, you got to be kidding.
Are you kidding me? I did not have anybody check a backpack.
One, I had to unzip every friggin' zipper on every backpack. And so that's what I was doing while she was bringing them up. I was unzipping backpacks. I was like, I promise, there's nothing in here. And sure enough, there wasn't. Yeah, it was just crazy.
I think you may have been high on some of those flash shirts you like so much. Of it.
No, man, she thought I was trying to sneak something in the bottom of all that stuff, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, it's funny. Someplace I was checking out by Walmart last night. I don't know if you heard me say about the candy, but
yeah.
literally 100 of them, man. I had them stacked. A case of 16 and one case of 20. And, like, these people I'm sorry, they don't know basic math.
Yeah.
And then after ringing it all up, we realized that I forgot. I thought for sure candy's not taxable in this state, but I was wrong. So I had to mention that it's going to be tax-free. And so she had to void it and do it over. And she wanted to sit there and count the 100 bags up again.
Yeah, it's
may have changed. In the 5 minutes I was standing by the register, the quantities may have magically changed.
Yeah, that's kind of insane. At that point, it's 3% tax on grocery in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have paid my $3, I guess it wouldn't have been $3. Whatever, maybe 30. $10 bags.
We were talking. The bill was $1,350. So.
That's probably worth recounting then. That's
$40.
Yeah, it's 40. That's borderline. I don't know. Depends what kind of mood I was in. There are times I just pay tax just to move on.
Yeah, been there, done that. I would just, if I can listen, if it's $100 seal, I don't, whatever, no big deal. But if it's any more than that, I mean, hey, that's money.
Yeah. Yep. I'm with you. I like my tax exempt.
Yep. And, it was funny. When I did my road trip, I didn't even have my certificate on me. And I just show places I'd show it to them on my phone, and they accepted it most places.
Now, it's my understanding, not that we're going to get into tax issues, but I was talking with somebody else about that today who is out of state sourcing.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're going to remit sales tax in that state, I can't imagine that you're supposed to be able to get tax exempt status.
Actually, you are supposed to.
How is the state going to get their taxes?
Well, they don't, but it's a sales tax. Sales tax is on the end user.
Okay.
It's kind of the whole free market system, where, how do I explain it? But I mean, basically the idea is, they're not going to, Georgia is not going to get the sales tax on the end sale of that product that I bought there. But when people buy in Florida, same thing, to sell in Georgia, same thing. So it ends up being a wash almost.
Okay. I don't think anybody's going to call the state IRS or whatever, but it was just an interesting conversation because I've done it before, just not thinking. Like Sam's Club, if I'm buying something for the business out of state at Sam's Club, or something that I plan to resell, I just naturally go, it's tax exempt.
Well,
doesn't even cross my mind.
Well, think wholesalers, for example. I used to sell wholesale cell phones. And by the way, if I've never said this before, if you're buying a cell phone on Amazon that says brand new, I guarantee you they're lying to you. Because we used to sell to half those sellers, and they were factory refurbished like new, at best.
Okay.
Our customers knew that. But let me put it to you like this. Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy, they all know that they're selling phones that aren't brand new. Okay. But here's the thing. As wholesalers, if we were shipping it out of state, it didn't even matter. We didn't even need a tax certificate from them. The only time we needed a tax certificate was if it was being shipped in-state. To verify
that's interesting. Okay. I don't know enough to argue one way or the other. That was brought up that I found interesting, but I'd take your word for it. I don't know.
Barry, your vendors who are refusing to sell, and I'm going to guess that they're in-state vendors, correct? Because I'll tell you, the state of Florida, they are the worst when it comes to sales tax. Have you ever been audited, Barry? Yeah, I hear the state of Florida DOR is horrible about auditing, etc. We had those issues when I worked by that wholesaler. So it does need to match the address where it's being shipped to, etc., etc., etc. in the state of Florida. It is, but again, that's local. That's local in the state of Florida. If Florida, if I'm shipping it out of state, if the person selling it is shipping it to the customer out of state of Florida doesn't care then. So I will say that, but I'll tell you this: I decided to try out. You know, Dwayne, you got the Walmart tax exempt card, right?
Yeah, sure do.
I was out of state, and I just handed the card over, figuring let's see what happens. And that's actually, they check it up in the system, and their system, you know, had no problem accepting it. So obviously, you know, it's not a problem.
Okay.
And Barry, I had no problem using my tax exempt in Georgia. And again, state of Florida, I can tell you for a fact, state of Florida is okay if you've got an out-of-state sales tax certificate. As long as you provide a copy of that, and you go into Walmart and show it to them. The state of Florida is 100% okay with Walmart not charging you sales tax as long as you show an out-of-state sales tax certificate or in-state. For the state of Florida, I can tell you, I researched it because it was actually a big pain in the ass when we had, you know, our local customers were the biggest pain because we had to get the sales tax certificate from them. It was like it was easier to sell someone that was shipping the phones to New York than shipping it to someone in Florida. But
That's interesting. That really, because, you know, as much as we spend out of state, just as a group, you know, as resellers, that can be a significant amount of money.
yeah,
I would love to know that I don't actually have to pay tax when I go to some of these other states, like Florida. You know, when I go to, I'll go source down in Jacksonville. Yeah, I always pay tax down there.
Hey, as long as you're not coming south of Jacksonville, we're okay.
No, that's about where I stop. I don't go much further than that. You know, south side of Jacksonville is about. What's that?
I usually stop around Tampa.
Oh yeah, see, I don't even hit the west side. I stay on the east side of Florida.
Yeah.
We might have to meet in the middle in Orlando one of these days, but that's about it.
Again one of these days.
Definitely.
I'll see you by Scan Power. I'll see you by ASD. Whatever. I'll see you around. But
yeah, ASD for sure this year. My God, I don't care what happens. I'm making it to ASD.
I know this guy that charged a lot of people money for a dinner, and then I heard he didn't even show up.
Yeah, you know, some people are just like that, and you don't associate with them. Those are just irresponsible, neglectful people.
I'm telling you. Actually, I had a guy calling me up saying, yeah, hey, you got room in your room because the guy I was bunking with didn't make it?
That was not me.
Not at all. But what was I going to say? But I'll tell you, talking sales tax, funny thing, and I said this last week. I was sourcing with another seller, and I didn't have my tax certificate on. And then we won't go into the legalities of this, but I simply said to him, I said, hey, you mind giving them you mind me using yours? He's like, dude, what do you mean? I don't want them knowing that I'm a reseller. Leron, it was great talking to you.
Take it easy, Leron.
And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, there's no problem with that. And it was just funny because it was so obvious that they knew that once we schmoozed with the store manager for a little while, it was very obvious that the store manager knew that he was a reseller, seen him in the store before. He was like, hey, by the way, I know you like this and this thing over here. He's like, I got some brand new ones in my office. Do you want them?
Yeah, man. I bought some cleaning supplies today, and you know the guy said, "Well, two of the employees were talking, and they said, well, obviously he's either reselling or he has a very dirty house. I said, yeah, man, there's not this much dirt in the world. It's just, there's no reason to hide it, because they know what's going on, and they also know what's in the back room. Had I not asked what was in the storeroom and told them that I wanted as many cases as I could possibly get my hands on,
Yep.
I would have missed out on several $100s worth of product, because there was none on the floor. It was all in the racks in the back because they just hadn't put it out yet. But
I can't tell you how many times. I mean, you go into Nike, you go into wherever, you'll find you'll be like, oh, this hoodie over here is a good seller, but I'm only seeing it in one of them in size large, and you'll turn to them, hey, oh yeah, what would you like? I'm like, I'll take 3 of each size. Yep, they'll come back. I've got two smalls, 4 larges, and this. Okay, great. All of a sudden, instead of spending $30 on one hoodie, I'm spending $150, $200.
Yep, absolutely.
Adds up.
I've had managers. No, go ahead.
The only time that I will not say that I'm a reseller is if I have reason to believe that they're not going to sell to me if they know I'm a reseller. So I was in Vanity Fair outlet, and I wanted something, a huge quantity of some closeouts. And I was trying to strike a deal with them. Okay, it was out of season. And basically the only way it was going to work was and then we worked it out, it had to be a whole bunch of $100 transactions to get the maximum discount, so we did 15 transactions. But
oh my God. Yeah.
But the funny thing was that what happened was, so I approached the manager. I said, the manager, hey, how are you? I said, hey, how would you like to get rid of all those things? And one of her employees looks at me and she's like, well, are you a reseller? And it was very obvious from the look at the store manager's face that she was really not happy with her associate saying that. She wanted the product gone. But I said, well, does it matter? I said, well, does it matter? She says, oh, yeah, we don't sell to resellers. This is the associate. I said, well, it's going to go to a good cause. And that's my newest theme, by the way.
I love that statement. That's awesome.
That's my newest statement. I don't care, if I'm buying backpacks, if I'm buying shoes, it's going to a good cause.
There you go.
Great cause. Let me tell you.
I had a store manager today tell me there was a $400 item, or no, sorry, $300 item, and they're big. These things are stinking huge. And so I'm buying all this other stuff, and he goes, "What would it take to get you to take those?" Mm-hmm. I said, "Probably $150." And he said, "Let me check my price on it." He came back. He said, $215 is the best I can do. And I am not good at haggling. I probably could have got him for $2, but even at $215, I was like, you know what? I can live with that. So, the managers, when they see you coming, when they know you're buying a lot of stuff, and when they got to get rid of stuff, they love to see you. Clear out this shelf space. Get rid of these big, huge items that we don't know what to do with, that we've been moving around in the store for weeks and weeks, if not months. Those relationships are huge. So,
and I'll tell you, they may have corporate policies of not selling to resellers, but when it comes down to it, the managers want the product on, or they want the sales.
Dude,
I've got times where the manager says, "Listen, either when you come, we're going to break it down into multiple transactions, and each transaction, either you got to use a different credit card for each transaction or crash transactions." I've literally walked into a store once with $5,000 in cash in my pocket. And
wow.
I spent it all there. I told him I wasn't leaving till I spent every last drop of it. And the average transaction size was probably about, you know what? It was probably about 10 or 12 transactions.
That's a lot. No wonder you hate checking out. But yeah, the manager tonight at one of the stores, he took a picture of the register screen. You know, it was a big deal that I dropped that much money at one store. He's like, I need to get a picture of this. It's like, cool. I'm glad I can make your day. What's that?
I gotta find the pictures. I went to Crocout a little while ago, and I mean, my receipt was freaking long. I mean, I don't remember how many pairs they got. Probably like a couple of hundred pairs of Crocs, 250 pairs. And they were like, oh my God, they were so ecstatic. They were all over me. They were doing everything they could. They carried it out to my car. I mean, these people love you, you know, as long as you're not a schmuck hiding things. So they be open, be honest. They love you. They took my taxes up there too, by the way, Crocs. And they the funniest thing was they're like, hey, we want to give you a present. And I'm like, okay, what's like? They're like, hold on, we got something in the back. We want to go get you a present. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, hey, I need a new pair of Crocs or something. And they come back out with some canvas, like the reusable shopping bag that said Crocs. It was cool. I gave it to my cleaning lady and my assistant.
There you go. They came out with a dollar bag for you. You dropped $5,000. They're like, here's a bag.
But you know what? It's nice to know that that's a two-way relationship, and
definitely
relationships are two-way. Go ahead and if you got to make the relationship where it's worthwhile for both parties. If I come into a store and ask them to give me a $10 item, a $100 item for $10, I'm being selfish over there. I'm only looking out for myself. Okay.
Yep.
If it's a clearance item that they've got at $50 and and I know that they could probably do it for $30, $40, and I say to them, listen, I'll tell you what, I'll take everything you've got, all 100 of them for $35. I'm looking, and I say it in a way, I'd like to help you get rid of it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I can take all of them at $35. Then I'm doing it in a way where it's worthwhile for both of us.
Yeah, and my one piece of advice would be don't cherry pick. I'll take these if you give me half, or I'll take that. I mean, if you're going to do that, it's an all or nothing. I'm either going to take all of them at a super deep discount, or just take the ones you want and don't ask for a discount. Don't be rude.
Did I ever tell you how I handled my closeouts by Tiger Direct?
No.
Okay, so the first deal we did cut with them was toner, which, by the way, for those of you who have not sold toner, so you probably didn't get an email, toner is now going to the restricted category.
It's going to be its own category?
No. It is its own category, but toner, I don't know if it is or isn't. But selling toners, you will need to show 3 invoices from manufacturers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, but anyways, so this was back when Tiger Direct went out of business. The first deal we cut with them was toner. And so what we did was we sorted out, there was probably 20, 30 feet long of toner, 4 shelves high. And we went ahead, before we spoke to the manager, we sorted out the toners, rearranged the shelf, so to say. Okay. Shelf number 1 was all the stuff that was worth it already at the current price. Shelf number 2, which let's say it was 50% off. Shelf number 2 would be worth it at 60% or 70%, whatever it was. Shelf number 3 would be worth it at 70%, and I'd take everything at 80%. And so then once I had that all sorted out, then I introduced myself as a store manager and said, hey, I'll tell you what, I'd love to help you out with those toners. Here's what I can do for you. I know you're at 50, so if that's all you can do, hey, I understand. I'll just take these few over here. But if you can do 80, I'll take every single toner you got. And there's probably a couple of bums in there, but I mean, whatever.
Right.
Since he didn't want to go to 80, he said he could do 60. I said, well, I can do 60. All I can take is I can take this much, which was a decent amount. He's like, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. What if I give you 70? So I said, well, and I took most of what he had. But, I just, if I know clearly what you're willing to take and showing them clearly what you're going to take, that's how you build the relationships.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Not by saying, well, I could take a couple of things, if, this, and this.
Yep.
My favorite with Walmart is, if it's a new Walmart that I haven't dealt with, is, try to find that item that is a dog for them, even though you can make good money on it, and they're heavy on it, and just say, hey, I can take that entire end cap of 100 items over there that you got it to give it to me for the right price.
Yeah.
And then once you got that, then they want to work with you on the rest. And then they'll sit there like you had today, Dwayne. They'll sit there and say to you, well, what about this? I really got to get rid of these. I got 20 units. And I'll be like, I'll be honest, I don't want to insult you. I mean, I could only give you $3 for that, even though it's $10 right now. I'm like, well, yeah, we got to get rid of it. Go ahead and take it. So.
Yeah, and for people that don't know, Walmart, it's run by the man. Each store gets its own budget for clearance. Each department gets their own kind of budget for clearance, and so it's really at their discretion what they want to give you, what kind of price break they want to give you. Target is very stringent. That's all set by corporate. Walmart, they just want to move product. They love us. So.
Yeah, well, actually, the thing with Walmart is, though, they have a budget, but they can. It really depends on the store how much flexibility they have to go beyond what they're supposed to. And,
Okay.
and that also comes from my experience having worked for Kroger. It's very simple. With every store chain, okay, you've got your stores that are overperforming, and you've got your stores that are on target, and your stores that are underperforming. Okay, if you're a big multi-million-dollar store, always hitting your numbers, and yeah, your closeouts numbers are kind of ugly. Well, you're the golden child. You can get away with it. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you're the guy who's never hitting sales targets, never hitting wages targets, and you're having ugly numbers for your closeouts, well, that's just one more thing that your district manager is going to hammer you about. So, that's what it boils down to, who can and can't. And then, of course, there's always, inventory time is typically, if the store is going to have inventory, right before or right after is usually when the store managers want to get rid of the product. Either they want to get it written off of last year's, inventory, or they want it disappearing before the numbers are on, or they just want it, once the numbers are on, they're like, okay, I got a year till it's going to show up in a report again. Let's get rid of it.
Interesting. Dude, you're full of all kinds of knowledge. See, my only experience in the corporate world was just, running wires for AT&T. I never did the sales stuff, so I've just kind of learned a little bit along the way as I've done this over the last couple of years, who's flexible and who's not. So that's great insight.
And you know what? Talk to the people. Talk to all the employees when you're by these places. You're talking to cash. You're checking out. Talk to the cashier. If I was scanning by Marshalls. You ever see a purple price tag by Marshalls? By the bras?
I don't know if I have or not.
I
know they have different color ones. Go ahead. Tell me about the purple tag.
That purple tag means gold. It means that it's a premium brand. Meaning Natori, Warner, those are basics. But then you've got I think it's Chantel or something, which is like the high-end lingerie. So apparently, if it's lingerie, if it's a high-end, they'll tag it with a purple tag. Only reason I know that is because while I'm sitting there scanning, I'm chatting with the employee who's sitting there cleaning up the section. Doesn't take any extra time out of my day.
Yeah. No, I knew they had, because they have red tag is their regular markdown. I think yellow is their absolute lowest price. I don't know that I've ever seen purple.
Purple isn't like a sticker. Purple is the actual, before it even marked down, just regular. You know how there's usually a white tag or a pink tag with the Marshalls, the regular retail, our price?
Yeah.
So that tag over there, that's the one that sometimes you'll see it printed on a purple paper, and that means that it's a premium brand.
Oh, wow. Okay. I had no idea.
You should definitely scan them.
It's good to know.
And it's those stupid things like that, But if we're
Yeah,
going
it comes from the relationships. Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah. It doesn't cost you anything to be nice to people.
Nope.
I'm just gonna leave off with this. We're coming almost a half hour over. I had a thought I was gonna share, and that was, dang, it just flew out of my mind. What was I gonna say?
Well, while you're thinking about it, I will simply say thank you for the entertaining drive home, the information that you provided.
Dwayne, have a safe drive.
And I will sign off now.
Yep, and for those
I'm about 5 minutes from the house, so I'm out.
Yep, and Barry did post
Thanks, Mendy.
about the state of Florida, so I'll have to read that. And next week, I'll let you guys know my opinion of it after that. And everybody, thanks for joining us. We'll be here next week, Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. Same link, same time, same location. Hope to see you guys then. Have a great evening.